Let's have our guest analyst jump on this topic, really, because he just joined us, and we're so glad to have him. He's Oluwatobi Fatoki, like I said earlier on, legal practitioner, public affairs analyst. Oluwatobi, it's such a pleasure to have you join us this morning. Good morning.
Morning. Thank you very much.
So did you, I wonder if you were listening to the conversation Olumide and I were having about the Super Eagles being stranded in Libya. Let me just quickly read the headline for you. It's on the front page of the Vanguard, and it says, highest authority ordered diversion of flight. This is coming from the pilot who flew that particular plane. And this is one of the complaints the pilot made, that such unexpected diversion could compromise safety. And then our National Assembly is demanding for an apology from the Libyan government. What's your take on this?
Thank you. I joined in the conversation we have with Olumide, and he has nailed it. It's a pitiable situation. It's a case that such a thing will happen this time around, where sports, unifies nations and the likes. Despite these were meant to have the second leg of the AFCON qualifying match, and this happened. It's a very bad one. It negates international diplomacy. In short, a nation players from other countries coming to your country must be given adequate protection, and the reverse is the case. Was the case that happened over there, and it's a very bad one. And the National Assembly has also taken reasonable steps, to call the Libyan government into order and to investigate. We need to investigate what actually caused this. Talking about sports, sport is meant to be a fair play. You don't have to use gimmicks, tactics, to weaken the opponent, to weaken your opponent, and for you to ensure a win. No, that's not the spirit of sportsmanship. There must be fair play, and no matter what might have led, or no matter the rationale behind that delay, the ambush, let's use the word kidnapped, or just kept at the place, no matter what would have led, no matter the rationale behind it, it is uncalled for. It is really uncalled for, and also Capital has taken a position, suspended the match, and to investigate. There must be a thorough investigation, and not just investigation, there must be proper sanction. Because if there is no sanction, such a thing, there might be a comment of such a thing in the future. So there must be proper sanction against the Libyan government on what has happened. And if the pilots have said, oh, I was meant to land here, and there is an order instruction saying I cannot land for safety. Yes, but
no. That's not what the pilot said. The pilot said that the sudden directive for him to divert the flight was dangerous. So he's actually condemning the order from above to divert the flight, really. That's what he was saying.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying as well. That
okay.
And dangerous for him. But albeit, we thank God for the safety and for the return of our players back to Nigeria. Despite the whole situation that happened, we thank God that they are back and safe and in the same hands now. But what actually happened was the due for investigation, and there was a proper sanction.
All right. Okay, thank you very much. Now, I'd like to ask, should the sanction come from the Nigerian government or the Confederation of African Football, CAF? Which one do you think would be better, in order not to sever diplomatic ties also?
Thank you very much. The sanction cannot come from the Nigerian government. They have gone there for a purpose. Nigeria cannot sanction Libya. Is the CAF, the sports, that can sanction them, and also, what is it called? If there is a recourse to, what was it called? The international organization, so be it, then we can take a position on it, because if this has affected, international diplomacy, ties between two
Oluwatobi, please hold that thought. We have a call. We have Michael from Abuja. Michael, please go ahead in less than a minute.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Michael.
What I want to correct something from Olumide. You said that we heard that similar something happened in Nigeria.
Okay.
But what happened was, they wanted to land in Port Harcourt. The NFS, according to what I read, NFS got the information very late and was supposed to land in New York.
Okay.
And when they heard they were landing in Port Harcourt, they tried to put a message across. They were already on board. And the same NFS organized a bus and an urgent approach to meet them in Port Harcourt with a bus and police. Nigeria police escorted those guys to Uyo. When they diverted Super Eagles flight or the original airport was supposed to land to another airport, their own football government bodies were not aware that Super Eagles were at the airport for 14 hours. And after 14 hours, you saw the bus they brought to Super Eagles to take them from the airport to the hotel was just like more of a damn bus.
Okay.
Michael, that was...
It's a slap on Nigeria.
Yes, I agree. Thank you so much, Michael, for that contribution. It was very, very illuminating. So that's noted. Oluwatobi, do you want to continue with what you were saying earlier on?
Yeah, thank you. So, as I said, there must be proper sanction being carried out against the Libyan government after a thorough investigation to forestall such repetition of such acts among other nations. And the CAF has a very vital role to play to ensure that such a thing does not repeat itself again.
Absolutely. Also, it's important to note that the House of Representatives and the federal government has summoned the Libyan ambassador to Nigeria. You know, you asked earlier on that Nigeria can't, or you said like Nigeria can't sanction Libya, but I think Nigeria can, you know, especially when it comes to the ambassador. I don't know if you want to respond to that. The ambassador can be expelled, right, if it is discovered that there was some foul play here.
You said what?
Okay, I was asking that the federal government and the National Assembly has summoned the Libyan ambassador to come explain what has happened. Earlier on, you had said that Nigeria cannot sanction Libya. But if investigation is thoroughly carried out and it was discovered that there was foul play, Nigeria can decide to expel the Libyan ambassador. Don't you think so?
Yeah, very well. That's after a thorough investigation, and there must be limits to such in order not to brew, enmity among the two nations. And the National Assembly has actually taken the right step to invite, because there is what we call the doctrine of all the authorem patem. That means that you must listen to the other side. You don't just assume, and you don't just base your information or facts on hearsay or on what has happened. You must give the other party opportunity, to state their facts. Oh, something like this happened, that was the reason for the diversion and the likes. So if that is done, and if there is apologies, from the Libyan government, then we are good to go. But if that is not done, then to a reasonable extent, like, as you said, Nigeria can take those steps, to withdraw the diplomatic tie and other things. But it must be to a reasonable extent, and not the one that will now brew enmity between the two nations, and that won't be encouraging peace. At this point in time, we must look at how to ameliorate what is on ground, to investigate, and to move forward and ensure that such a thing does not repeat itself.
All right, thank you very much. I'd like to divert your attention to what started on Monday and spiraled into Tuesday. That's the national grid collapsed on Monday, and by Tuesday we heard it was restored, and less than 24 hours again it collapsed. But what I would even like to point out is the reply or the response from the Minister of Power, that's Adebayo Adelabo. Now, he talked about that it was just a minor trip-off. That's the second collapse. It was just a minor trip-off. Now, he made a statement here which is quite interesting. He said he noted that the such grid disturbances are not unique to Nigeria, which means it's common in Nigeria to have the grid collapse. And he emphasized that the swift response, it has to do with attributing them to weather and aging infrastructure. So my question is, if something keeps breaking down, just like a car, shouldn't it get replaced rather than you trying to patch things up? I mean, why can't we just, there's a country in Africa that had to shut down 5 power plants. They didn't need that anymore. When do you see us getting to that level?
Well, I used to say it. I think I've said it here on Impact. The last part of your question, where do I see us? I'm not a prophet, but well, it is clear and read to the blind, and the deaf can hear. Even the lame can feel it, can walk it through. Well, if the situation goes on like this, and as a nation, we are not helping matters, when we are having recurrent issues, especially pertaining to the national grid, then we need to be sincere. We need to call a spade a spade. As you said, that sector needs, the national grid needs to be overhauled. There must be not just repairing and repairing. Talking about energy supply, we have the, what's it called? We have the GenCos, the generating, we have the transmission, right? We have the discos and the lights. Then everything comes off from the national grid. And if there is any issue affecting the collapse, it affects the nation at large. It affects production. It affects even workforce. It slows down the pace of governance. It slows down the pace of the economy. And it just shows how important it is for it to be overhauled. So the right thing to do, they know the right thing to do. Let them overhaul. Let them equip. Let them get the necessary facilities in place, and not just be patching and patching. We are going back, explaining the same issue, coming with excuses. Though the Minister for Power, Chief
yes,
he's really trying. He's doing his best. At least they talk about the energy. Compared to previous governments, we can give him kudos that he's trying, but there are some issues, that is beyond him. That we have to come back to the president, and is beyond his ministry. It's for the nation at large. It's for the president to step in, because power is a very critical aspect and crucial aspect to drive the economy of the nation forward. And if we look at the situation of hiking fuel now and the cost of fuel now, talking about even diesel and the likes. So people now think there is no power supply. You have to rely on alternative power supply. Talking about what is it called, the inverters and the likes. So all those things are consuming funds. How many Nigerians can afford that? How many? If I go in business, the retailers, even the manufacturing companies, now talking about Bante and the likes, and now the national grid collapse. So the nation must rise to that occasion and ensure that. And also, I see the other time on this program, sorry for the diversion, when the issue of the flood is in Benue happened, and I said we always wait until we have problems before we provide solution. All these problems don't just happen overnight. You would have seen the signs, the signals have been there. We have known that's why we have the maintenance department. That's why they will have passed the what is it called? The document showing that we have issues. There is likelihood of this thing collapsing. But nobody will ready not to resolve until such a thing now occur. That's why I wake up from the slumber, which is a very bad one for the nation. For us to move forward, we must be proactive and not wait for prayer brigade approach. It's not helping us. Our prayer brigade approach is causing much more damages to our economy. And not
also, Oluwatobi, I would like to ask this. Do you think that if we privatize the power sector totally, I'm not talking about distribution this time, I'm talking about power generation, do you think, because a lot of people have said that this whole national grid collapse started when we started having what we call constant or more power. The grid started collapsing when we were having when we were not having constant power, we weren't having this grid collapse. So do you think that power generation should be totally privatized? Let's leave it to the private sector and see maybe it would fare better.
Thank you very much. Well, it's not, I don't think it should be totally privatized. The National Assembly has actually done the right thing during the administration, during the last administration, when they did some adjustment amendment to the Constitution, and they brought the power generation away from the legislative list down to the concurrent list to bring the state as well, and also legislate can also
generate,
produce, by years, which is a good one. So that makes it easier. A state government can say, okay, we have coal, we want to base our generation based on coal and the likes, so we can base on what's it called, marine and the like. So that is a good step in the right direction. But now the depends on the states to really then and utilize that option, to utilize that amendment, to utilize some states are already utilized, Enugu State, Lagos State, to utilize that power given to them. And that to make it easier. Because now, talking about looking at the hands of private sector, let us join the aisle, and let us look at where we are coming from and where we are today. Many of these businesses, so-called, that have been in the hands of the government, that have been privatized. What result have we gotten? Rather than impoverishing the members, the less privileged in the communities, when they come with high tariffs. Where is Nigcom today? Nigcomsat, though not to privatized, where is Nigcom talking about the NNPC as well? NNPCL. So looking at all those issues, it is not this, even in other countries, yes, power has always been subsidized by government because it is not easy to sustain energy. It is not easy. It's huge cost. If it's left totally in the hands of the private sector, now we are battling with the item fuel. Now people are able to ban what they are paying now the tariffs as in paid. Then I doubt if we are going to be able to sustain what will come true.
All right, now let's quickly take a look at this one. I beg your pardon, please, if you can just do this under 1 minute. It's on the front page of the Punch. Marketers plan petrol import to bridge shortfall. The writer says that Dangote oil not producing enough to meet a domestic supply or the domestic demand currently. This is coming from the marketers. Do you smell rats here?
I'm sorry to say, you told me to coming from this underwoman, and as a bona fide Nigeria, I will say this, that I as a person, I'm tired on talking about the oil issue, talking about the fuel issues we have in issues of today. There is no system, there is no leadership. There is no leadership. Everybody is doing his own in the way of manner lives. The government is not sincere with the masses. There is no sincerity of purpose, and that is wrong. There are no legislation forward. The citizens are crying. Everybody, they are feeling it. And if anything that we make, that we make the fuel to be available, that we reduce the cost, we call it out. There is people are suffering. I want to recall myself from always commenting. We have commented before. So many activists have been out. They have, doing analysis, but nothing is changing. And so people are taking fat on these issues. So people are making billions every day on these issues. Where is patriotism? Where is leadership? Especially in the oil sector, where is patriotism? Are we no longer patriotic to the nation, but being patriotic to other nations? Why? Are we an oil producing nation? So where are we going for it? It is a bad moment, and it is a slap to all as a nation that we are exposing this over time. And this we are current issue, no solution. For the past 6 months or thereabouts, we are current issue. I think there also has been a solution, and not complain. We are current issue problems everywhere on a particular sector. That is my opinion. The president is the minister for petroleum. So he must do the needful and ensure that the cost is being brought down, there is production, our refineries are working are put in place, and they allow the refinery also to work adequately. There must be transparency. We have lost transparency. We have lost accountability.
Oluwatobi, you're so right. The buck stops at the president's table, and he must do the needful.
Yes.
Thank you.
We have lost accountability, and transparency.
Absolutely. This is a very safe place to land. You've been fantastic on the show. We appreciate your time. Thank you for coming.